Britain's butterflies are amongst the most beautiful creatures on Earth. Their beauty and miraculous life cycle has been an inspiration for hundreds of years. And for many people, they are still an obsession.
It reminds me of my very happy childhood, a free and happy time.
They take you to the most special places. They are living spirits of beauty, fascination and wonder.
Our love of butterflies spans generations, class, culture and creed. What is it about them that captures our imagination? And could they be more than frivolous objects, delicate whites, patchwork fritillaries, and painted ladies? A search for butterflies will lead you to the most beautiful parts of Britain. The love butterflies have for our most beautiful landscapes appears to rival our own. It opens up an intriguing possibility. As the pressure on our countryside from development and intensive agriculture grows, could a passion for butterflies? Britain's passion for butterflies certainly has a long history. But it was the Victorians that took it most seriously. Loie Fuller was one of the most famous people in the world. A music hall star whose butterfly dances wowed audiences at the Folies Bergère. She was amongst the first people ever captured on film. When it came to real butterflies, gentlemen took to the hills in pursuit, seeing the search as a route to spiritual and moral improvement. The most influential butterfly collector of them all was Lord Rothschild, a regular visitor to Buckingham Palace in his zebra-drawn carriage. His collections helped found London's Natural History Museum, and his collectors scoured the globe in search of rarities. Over 100 years later, these enthusiasts are largely forgotten, but our passion for butterflies lives on. Matthew Oates is one of the country's leading butterfly experts. For most of the year, he's the National Trust's head of butterfly conservation. But every summer, he meets fellow enthusiast Neil Hume for a spot of butterfly sport.
He's good. He's very good. He's got something pretty lethal up his sleeve.
Matthew's got a big reputation, but this stuff here, I've used this to devastating effect so far this year.
I'm more than ready. This is my secret weapon. Nobody knows. He doesn't know I've got it.
I'm very ready.
We'll have a drink together afterwards, whatever happens, definitely. He'll be paying.
Game on.
Out in the midday sun.
High in the trees is the object of their affection, a beastly beauty, with habits almost as peculiar as their own. His Imperial Majesty, the Purple Emperor.
I saw my first Purple Emperor 40 years ago. It changed my life.
Like all emperors, they remain aloof, rarely descending to earth, unless you appeal to their beastly side.
Critically, this butterfly does not visit flowers. Anything vile.
Which explains the array of foul-smelling foodstuffs Matthew and Neil have proudly prepared.
Are you happy with that line?
I'm happy with that line, yeah. So anything which lands within the baited area, 2 points.
Those are the time-honoured rules and regulations. There's a tradition of people baiting for purple emperors, which goes back at least 250 years, and they used to put out dead rabbits and other offal and carcasses. The great purple emperor collector, IRP Heslop, imported a trailer load of fresh pig manure from Brigadier Fanshaw's pig farm and dumped that in the middle of a South Wiltshire wood.
Did Heslop's mound of pig dung work?
No, it didn't actually.
Yeah.
Two males.
Matthew and Neil meet here every year,
Oh, one of them comes back.
proudly carrying on the traditions of those eccentric British naturalists.
This is the time of year when I give up all of the serious sort of work that I do for butterfly conservation, and it's silly season. A little bit of the howlock, and then I'm going to mix that with some of my Ghanaian chitou.
I'm going to try and counteract the effect of the howlock, the Vietnamese shrimp paste, by placing a delicious jellyfish slice. I'm just going to tip it out because I think it's foul. There we go.
3 emperors.
It's a female.
Oh, it
That's
is.
two
Yes.
males chasing a female. Oh, she's receptive.
She's leading them on,
She's leading them on. Oh, the naughty girl.
but that may well be a pairing about to occur.
They must be smelling something.
And that's why Matthew and Neil's bait works. These butterfly emperors must seek out and vigorously pursue every virgin female they find. But the secret to success lies in their unusual diet. In order to become virile, it's thought they must first drink an elixir of mineral salts, a love potion, which Matthew and Neil have spent years trying to perfect.
Right, we got one down, we got one down.
Matthew, it's virtually on the line. I think it's just on my side.
His wingtip is on my side. I claim that, yes.
Your pickled mudfish seems to...
Pickled mudfish is picking up latterly, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yes. The truth is, I can't remember on earth the score is. I think I've won, he thinks he's won.
Let's call it a draw then.
Call it a draw. Let's-
Congratulations.
Jolly good, thank you. I accept victory. And let's go and listen to the cricket.
Go on then.
Test match special, here we come.
They're still up there, you know.
They still are, yes. I mean, on a warm evening like a day like this, they can fly to 8 o'clock in the evening. And above everything else, what it shows is that when it comes to eccentricity, Britain still has what it takes.
Matthew and Neil are part of an army of thousands of amateur naturalists closely following the lives of butterflies across Britain. Together, they have revealed a painful truth. 3/4 of all our butterflies are in decline. As they're in trouble, you have to start here, where a butterfly's life begins. Each egg is pregnant with possibility, but there's a hazardous life ahead. Eating your way out of the protein-rich egg is just the first problem. Many British birds time the birth of their young to coincide with this plentiful food supply. So it's no surprise that the only thing rivaling a caterpillar's appetite is its ability to hide. The brown hair streak's colour enables it to blend into the foliage. And its shape mimics the serrated edges of the blackthorn leaves. A brimstone hides by lining itself up on the midrib of a leaf, and the orange tip mimics the seed pods of the garlic mustard on which it feeds. A purple emperor, looking exactly like a sallow leaf, right down to the pattern of the leaf veins. This newly hatched orange tip would fit comfortably on a pinhead. But before it can become a butterfly, it will need to grow into this monster. Just 3 weeks later, it'll be 800 times heavier. It results in a huge dilemma. Caterpillars need to stay hidden, but they can't afford to stay still. Unless, that is, they know they're being watched. When it comes to saving butterflies, caterpillars are key. Flowers make a garden butterfly-friendly, but every butterfly was once a hungry caterpillar, and flowers mean nothing to them. Each kind prefers a different plant, and when development and intensive agriculture destroys those plants, butterflies disappear. But leaving land to nature isn't enough. Creating the right conditions for these crucial food plants can take considerable effort. A lifetime working in these woods has taught one butterfly enthusiast the true value of that hard work.
I think some people still see gamekeepers as trying to exterminate everything that moves, and it's not like that at all. I've lived and worked in the countryside all my life. Seen a lot of changes. There are not so many now on the land. Youngsters are just not interested. It's different to what it used to be, you know. I don't think the majority of people understand. You have to be a forester, you have to be a farmer. It all comes into the job.
In the depths of winter, the sight of butterflies flitting through summer flowers seems impossibly distant. But thanks to David Nash, the gamekeeper on this country estate, they're here, waiting. A purple emperor caterpillar nestles in a frozen fork. Inside a twisted honeysuckle leaf, a white admiral caterpillar. An orange-tipped chrysalis looking like a dead twig. A speckled wood waits patiently to emerge. These butterflies are familiar to David because this is a working woodland, a rare thing in Britain.
We're trying to create a sustainable woodland, not just for timber, for everything that lives and grows in the woodlands. Most shooting estates, because of the management for the shooting, provides tremendous habitat and food plants for the woodland butterfly. Opening up of some of the woodlands, giving them what they want.
There's more to creating woodland habitat than letting trees grow. Without coppicing, they become overgrown, dark, and the plants butterflies need die out. So, as British tradition dies, so do the butterflies. Coppicing continues here to encourage animals which are shot for sport. A pursuit preserving an increasingly rare habitat. Even David's woodpile provides shelter from the harshest winter weather. This hungry wood mouse is not alone. In its search for food, it's about to stumble upon something terrifying. Camouflaged against the bark, something hisses in the darkness. This warning wards off most attackers, but some mice are made of sterner stuff. A peacock's eye spots mimic the mouse's deadliest enemy, the owl. It's one of our longest-lived butterflies, kept safe through hibernation with its camouflage and warning colours. Until, with the first rays of weak spring sun, it's ready to wake.
When you see your first butterflies, it gives you the sense that the winter's over The spring's on the way and you wake up yourself a bit after the winter. And you know that the summer's coming then, and it's good.
As the days lengthen and the spring sun warms the earth, woodland butterflies wake and prepare to make the most of Britain's often elusive summer.
The sun is shining where clouds have been.
On the bark of an oak tree, a silver-washed fritillary caterpillar, no bigger than a pinhead, starts an epic journey down the trunk in search of violets. The snow melts from a purple emperor caterpillar, which begins to stir. Overwintering adults emerge from hiding.
Being a funny old romantic when you talk about these things, but that's because they haven't experienced it.
We've seen how butterflies can warn us when wildlife habitats are disappearing. Britain's butterflies are emerging earlier, which means Britain is warming up. Their sensitivity makes butterflies incredibly valuable in tracking our changing climate. But what effect will a warmer Britain have on them? It's just what some of our sun-loving butterflies want. The comma and holly blue have both pushed north in the last few years. But this butterfly, the painted lady, demonstrates above all others how a warmer Britain can benefit butterflies. Though unlocking its mysteries took one man further than you might think.
We were probably the most impressive sight of painted ladies I've ever seen. The feeling of, wow, we had found what we were looking for. I have a feeling of happiness when I'm in the middle of a meadow. This is one of the most nice feelings I can have. Morocco mostly, but he's always on the move, tracking the best places at the right.
But some years they arrive on Britain's shores in their millions. For a nomadic butterfly whose caterpillars aren't fussy eaters, climate change brings opportunities. Warmer weather means their food plants are found even further north. But for other butterflies, it could spell disaster. And in the Scottish Highlands is a butterfly that shows us why. It's home to the magnificent golden eagle, the ptarmigan, and the mountain hare. Yet surviving here, despite the frozen winds, is something rarer than them all. A relic of the Ice Age, whose story demonstrates how vulnerable many butterflies could be to climate change. The mountain ringlet. Not the prettiest, but certainly the hardiest, and without doubt our hairiest butterfly. Dark, velvety wings absorb every scrap of sunlight, and hairs help them keep warm. They're reluctant flyers. Instead, they ramble the highlands in search of sustenance. Their survival here depends on a special collection of mountain plants, which are only found in this cold climate. As Britain warms up, the mountain ringlet is pushed higher and higher in search of perfect conditions, until eventually it may simply run out of mountain. Driven off into the heavens. Like the mountain ringlet, many British butterflies are very particular about where they live. Habitat loss traps them in tiny pockets of land where they are incredibly vulnerable. 3/4 of our butterflies are now in decline. What can be done? The pressure on our land is already enormous. After South Korea and Bangladesh, England is the most crowded country on Earth. But cities aren't the greatest threat. It's agriculture. Intensive farming destroys the plants butterflies need. But there's enormous potential here to make a change, because farmland could be the most important butterfly habitat we have. It can even bring butterflies back from the dead. It's why butterfly conservation is now focused on creating a vast chain of habitats across Britain. But it can be slow going. Which is why, in his frustration, one man has taken matters into his own hands and is about to launch his next attack.
I'm certain that various factions are moved to have me arrested. I have to admit, you are sacrificing a lot of lives.
From his greenhouse nerve centre, Martin White meticulously plans his campaign. but where you can really begin to understand the hold that butterflies have on us. One man who understands their power is Nick Walker, one of the world's most influential street artists.
Using the theme of a butterfly, it conjures a lot of imagery for me. They symbolise a lot of things as well, so that's always good with creating paintings with stories. And yeah, it's perfect. It's a perfect symbol to kind of play with in general. With butterflies, like a beautiful symmetry. And within that symmetry, you can always play inside the symmetry. It's, I guess, distorting its beauty in a way. Something so beautiful, you can actually kind of bring a sinister element to it, which is something, I always kind of like doing. It is a labour of love, and when you are cutting that stencil, it is almost like you have time to think. I've always been, intrigued about kind of, the longevity of a butterfly in general. It's like, they only, some of them only last a week. It is crazy for something so kind of beautiful to actually sort of only be around for such a short amount of time. It's a little bit like kind of street art, and once a piece goes up, there's no telling kind of when it's going to be painted over or destroyed. You plan it out, and then it's literally like proper black art. Go in, do it, get out, done. The subject matter of the butterfly, I mean, they symbolise things, but they make you think. You're like, oh, wow, why did that just land on me? Or, when you're living in predominantly kind of like big, concrete, grey environment, and you see a butterfly kind of flutter by, and it's like, something so small and so delicate amongst this kind of mayhem of the city and the world, and, the super hyper fast kind of existences we live in. It's all of a sudden, all that disappears because there's a butterfly there. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those kind of things. That's the way I've always seen it.
Images of butterflies are so important to some that they decide to carry them with them for life. This is Britain's biggest tattoo convention, and butterflies are everywhere. Ask people why they've chosen them, and the answers are thoughtful, considered, and remarkably similar. I wanted to mark a life-changing experience, a rite of passage, leaving a long-term partner, starting a new job, becoming a woman. Butterflies are powerful symbols, undeniably beautiful, delicate yet determined, transient and transformative. And what's so important about these butterflies is that each and every one tells a life story. Stories so important to these women that they have shed blood, sweat, and tears to remember them. Butterflies will always find a home in our cities, because the caterpillars of the small tortoiseshell, peacock, red admiral and comma all feed on nettles. Camouflage is for caterpillars that can't handle themselves, and peacocks hang out in threatening groups. Predators can't miss them, but decide they are best avoided. Their impressive spines ward off attackers, and those of the small tortoiseshell can pierce even human skin. But it's not just our common butterflies that find a home in urban areas. There are places just beyond the barbed wire and no trespassing signs that are vital for some of Britain's most threatened species. This railway yard near Wakefield was amongst the busiest in Europe. But there's something special about these brownfield sites. The poor soil keeps aggressive plants in check, and bare ground warms quickly in the sun, encouraging wildflowers. It makes them an important home for some of our most threatened butterflies. That's why, hidden in the clinker, you'll find an unassuming, passionate lover. The grayling isn't much to look at, but it's in possession of a powerful aphrodisiac. And this male is just hotting up. Most butterflies open their wings for warmth, but graylings angle their body to the sun. Hot-blooded males buzz any brown object, and if it's a female, courtship commences. Jerking his wings upwards, he proudly reveals his assets. The grayling's no peacock, but he still struts proudly, flashing his orange eye spots. Finally, with quivering excitement, he readies his secret weapon. On the male's wings are scent glands, which produce an aphrodisiac described as love dust. With a deep bow, he anoints the female's sensitive antennae. Who could resist? The dull-sounding grayling, dingy, and grizzled skippers might not inspire the excitement of Britain's more colourful butterflies, but they're increasingly rare, threatened by our desire to develop these industrial sites. Places like these can be incredibly valuable for wildlife, but they also have an historical significance. Perhaps they should be left as areas where we celebrate both, because when this place is developed, the grayling and another link with Britain's proud industrial past will be lost. What goes on inside the chrysalis is the stuff of science fiction. A real-life Star Trek transporter. The caterpillar's body is broken down and its molecules reassembled as something else entirely. Digestive juices turn the caterpillar into a nutrient-rich soup. But floating in the fluid are special groups of cells. And around them, a butterfly body is slowly built. Throughout history, few other animals have had such enduring appeal. But what makes butterflies unique is that as well as being objects of aesthetic beauty, their life cycle gives them great symbolic power. They've come to represent beauty, the soul, freedom, elegance, and the ephemeral nature of life. But when it comes to saving our countryside, the most valuable lesson we can learn from butterflies is that change is possible. As dawn breaks over London, the city wakes, and the people of Notting Hill prepare for the biggest street celebration in Europe. Nothing else in Britain unites so many people of such different ages and cultures. But it's no surprise that butterflies are here. Their appeal is universal. 100 million years after they first adorned the world, they are as captivating as ever. And although Britain's butterflies have never been so threatened, they still have a message for us. That beauty can be found in the simplest things. That anything is possible. And managing our land for butterflies doesn't just help them. It can slowly transform Britain into something that many may distantly remember and the young have never known. A Britain of colourful fields and flower-filled meadows, where the hedgerows are alive with wildlife and sunlight dances in coppiced woodland clearings. A place where the traditions of our past are upheld and our heritage remembered. And if that isn't enough, well, butterflies make us smile. And life is hard enough without a little happiness. So find your own butterfly obsession and thank these people for their passion, their energy, and even their eccentricity. Because without them, and without the butterflies they love,
Revealing the truth about Christmas carols here on BBC HD this evening at 9:30 after Nigel Slater. Next.